she hadn't surrendered. I had surrendered mine. I had buried my marriage and my anger and my grief and the truth all in the same grave, and she was standing in the sun about to get married. So I made a decision that I cannot explain with logic. I have tried. God, I have tried to find the rational thread in it, but there is none. It was pure, distilled, ugly emotion, dressed up as a plan. 2 days before her wedding, I came to her. I told her I needed to talk, and then, very calmly, I said the most monstrous thing I have ever said to another person. I told her what I was going to do. I told her I was going to take her place at the ceremony. I told her that if she tried to stop me or tell anyone, I would go to the police and tell them everything about our father's decision to hide the death of my husband, about what she had done. I told her that I would burn everything down rather than watch her walk into a life I deserved more than she did. I said that. I said deserved. She went quiet in a way I had never seen her go quiet before. Not the quiet of someone who has nothing to say, the quiet of someone who has understood, suddenly and completely, what another person is capable of. On the morning of her wedding, we switched. She stayed in the house. I put on the dress. I did her hair the way she wore it. I looked in the mirror, and I saw exactly what I expected to see. Myself. And I walked down that aisle. The man who became my husband. He did not know. How could he? We were identical. We had the same voice, the same laugh, the same gestures shaped by the same childhood. I had studied her for weeks. I knew exactly how she held herself around him, exactly what she called him, exactly how she kissed him. We were married. Legally, completely. That night, I came back to the house and I looked at her and I told her, this is how it is going to be now. She would stay. She would not speak to anyone we knew. She would not contact him. She would disappear into the background of the life she had built, and I would live it. What I did in those months that followed, keeping her close, keeping her isolated, watching her like a person watches a threat. I cannot dress it up. I was her jailer, my own twin, the person I shared a face with, the person who had once been the closest human being to me on the planet, and I kept her like a secret. Here is the question I need you to sit with, because I sit with it every single day. If you steal a life, a real, warm, living life, and you move into it and close the door behind you, whose life are you actually living? I had his love, but it was not love for me. He loved the woman he had known for 2 years before the wedding. He loved her laugh and her history and her particular way of seeing the world. He loved a person I was performing, and every moment of his tenderness landed somewhere just past me, like something thrown to a person who keeps stepping aside. I smiled. Anyway, I accepted it. I told myself that over time, I would become her enough that the love would finally reach me. That is not what happened. What happened was that I woke up one morning, about 2 days in, and I looked at the man sleeping beside me, and I thought, he has never once loved me. Not one day, not 1 hour, and he never will, because I am not her. I went to my sister's house, and I looked at her through the doorway, and she looked back at me with eyes that held something I was not prepared for, not hatred, not fear, pity. My identical twin looked at me with pure, clear pity, and something collapsed in me that I am not sure has ever fully rebuilt. She asked me, in a voice so quiet it barely existed, "What do you want from this? What is it that you actually wanted?" And I could not answer her, because the honest answer was, I wanted to feel like I mattered as much as she did. I wanted someone to choose me first, the way life always seemed to choose her first. I wanted to stop being the shadow twin, the second impression, the one people forgot slightly faster. I wanted the grief I had swallowed for 2 years to mean something. None of that was her fault. I knew that as I stood there, unable to speak. We made an agreement. I do not know what made me agree to it, except that I was exhausted. Exhausted by the performance, the vigilance, the guilt that had begun to grow in a way I had not expected. Slowly at first, then all at once, like a plant that waits in the dark for the right conditions. The terms were simple. I would release her. She would leave, not just the house, not just the city. She would leave the country entirely. She would not contact him. She would not come back. She would go somewhere far enough that our lives would never overlap again. And in exchange, I would not use what I knew against her. We would both carry our secrets, and we would carry them separately, forever. She agreed. I do not know if she did it because she believed me, or because she had simply run out of fight. I have never been sure. 3 weeks later, she was gone. Another country, another continent, a new life built from scratch, and I was left in hers. She has been gone for over 4 years. I have heard, through the particular way news travels between people who are pretending not to keep track of each other, that she is okay, that she found work, that she has built something. I do not know if she is happy. I hope she is. That is not a small thing for me to say. I mean it with my whole chest, even knowing what that hope costs me to hold. Because if she is happy, it means she survived me. And if she survived me, then I did not fully destroy the person I love most in the world, even if I came close. Because here is the thing about identical twins that nobody tells you. You can hate your mirror and still grieve it when it is gone. You can spend years wanting to be her, and then spend years wishing she was near again. You can steal her life and still feel the specific cold of the space where she used to be. I have her husband. I have her home. I have the structure of the life she built. And I am lonelier than I have ever been in my entire life. He is a good man. He does not deserve what was done to him. He married a stranger, and he has no idea. He has loved me, the me I am becoming, slowly, separately from her. And that love is real to him. I can feel it. It is genuine. And it is the most bittersweet thing I have ever experienced, because it is also proof of my crime. Every true moment between us is built on a foundation that I poisoned before we even began. I think about telling him sometimes. In the middle of ordinary moments, over dinner, or when he reaches for my hand. I think about saying, I am not who you think I am. You married the wrong twin. You were deceived, and you deserved better. And I am so sorry. I never say it. I do not know if that is cowardice or self-preservation. I do not know anymore where one ends and the other begins. I protected my sister from prison. And then I built one for her, anyway. I ask myself sometimes, was I trying to